Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. Today we're going to be looking at clocks. We've got long clocks, we've got quick clocks, we've got small clocks, we've got big clocks. Clocks. The first clock we're going to look at is the Etho Clock, probably the most common clock you'll see in Minecraft, and the couple different ways in which you can set it up. So this one is a longer one. Well, it can be made into quite a long clock just by adding more or less items into the hoppers, and it simply just reads the output of the hopper and tells the piston to retract when there's nothing left in it, in which case it'll then move the redstone over to lock the other hopper and continue the process back and forth, and you can get quite a long pulse out of them, being that you can stack 5 stacks of items in it. If you don't have the room to build it in the more vertical pattern, you can also build it in a horizontal pattern as well. I mean, it's still a little bit tall because of that, but then you could also run a repeater around and make it one high, so it can be completely flat. So all you're going to need to build these ones is some redstone dust, a repeater, well, some repeaters, some comparators, redstone block, some hoppers, sticky pistons, and some timing blocks. And it's as simple as putting 2 hoppers facing into each other is step 1. Then you want to get yourself 2 pistons facing away from towards each other, and put your redstone block on top of one of the hoppers. Now you can place your redstone dust on top of this block here, and she is ready to go. As you can see now, we've got power going into this, so it can push this block across. Once all these blocks have moved over, example A, this comparator will lose power for this comparator will lose power just long enough, letting this one push it back across. And voila, you now have got yourself a power output. Which you can, change the timing of, like thus. Or in the event that you want it completely flat, you will need just a couple repeaters around the back, and it is now completely flat. Yay! Next on the list is the quick and easy comparator clock, probably the cheapest. Oh, actually, well, it only takes 1 comparator, so I say it's cheap. And they go pretty quick. Now you will need, when you do this, to make sure that your comparator is in subtract mode and that the output is at least 3 redstone away. As you can see, all of these ones are all 3 redstone away from the tip just there, and they will all work, well, quite well. But if you put, turn off, if you put down your output here, not here, if you put it down here, it will not work. No flashy. Doesn't matter how many ticks on your repeater. It needs to be on the 3rd outlet. So in order to build this one, you need a comparator, obviously, a bit of redstone dust, whatever it is that you want to have powered, which I would recommend powering probably with a repeater or something, and an input. And then make sure it is set into subtract mode. Quite simple. Another effective and simple fast clock design would be the observer clock, which simply is 2 observers back to back, and you just need to engage them somehow, which by piston is probably the easiest method. Like all of these, they can all be built in different patterns. So you're going to need some observers. You're going to need a sticky piston. You're going to need some redstone dust or some repeaters, something like that. Whatever it is you want to power, way to turn it on and off. Quite simple. A very cheap rudimentary clock you can use is the repeater clock. The catch is you got to be really quick, otherwise it won't work, and I'm never quick enough. Let's try this. And in order to restart it, there you go. You have to actually break the thing. Now if you have a quicker one, see, it's on forever now. Now if you have more add more repeaters though, you can be a little bit more delayed in your flicky ticky. But at the end of the day, once this clock is on, it's on until it breaks. And if you put it on too long, it doesn't work. So I don't like these clocks. But they do have their effects in certain places. This next clock is a little bit of a sneaky one. When you push the button, it doesn't matter how many more times you push this button, it will never disrupt the countdown of this clock. So that way the light will stay on, or the output will stay on for a given point of time, no matter how many times somebody spams the button. This clock timing will still count down. Give me a second and I'll show you how to build it. So what you're going to need is you're going to need 2 droppers, 2 observers, 2 hoppers, 2 comparators, some building blocks, a redstone torch, and 2 pieces, one piece of redstone dust, just for the initial clock. And then you've got your input and your output on the other side there. First things first, get your hopper and put him on the ground. And then face another hopper into this hopper. Now, once an item travels up into this hopper here, it's going to give an output. This output is going to lock a hopper, which we're going to place here like this. So we now have got our little hopper clock, which is going to be powered, which is either going to power one side with that block, or it's going to power the torch, which is going to power this one. We want to get the output from that hopper, and we want to get it into, to give a signal to this observer, which will then give a signal to this observer, which will then power this dropper to push the item back down to the bottom, which will restart the whole system. So if we power this, it will send this button up into this one, this dropper, which will then power this hopper, meaning all the items can travel over into this, and until it resets the dropper, you can spam this button as many times as you want. And it will just slowly, I want to look over here, it'll slowly bring the items across until it is complete and has reset the system. And you can just grab your output from this. There's quite a few places, but probably the best one is out of there. There's probably other places you can place it depending on what sort of signal you want, really. So this could be used in a variety of things. So this is a great variation of a hopper clock that uses droppers to govern its input to switch over the signal. The good thing about it is it gives off a small pulse, ba-dump, on that side, and then it will give off another one on the other side of the clock for that side. It also gives off a long, full duration signal on this side of the clock. So it's got quite a few functions. So to start off building this one, we're going to give ourselves our little hopper clock. I'm just going to build that up here real quickly. So this is where the hopper clocky thingy is going to be, and we'll just stick 2 comparators of these. And these can be used to power these blocks just here, which in turn are going to power the ones underneath it with redstone on them, like that. And that can be an output for the other side. Also, these will be used with the comparator output to turn on and off the hoppers. Here, we can get the output from the hoppers to determine when to tick it over through this here, and then we'll go, here we go. Whoopsies, we can put the hoppers here. Nope, that didn't work at all. Let's try it there. Yes, we can do it there, and there. Now we can put the hoppers into each other like that, and we can get the signal off of the comparators there, power the redstone torches, which will power these droppers. These will now send an item, we'll just use a bit of redstone there, through and turning off one of the hoppers. As you can see, one of them is now turned off. We'll just put some items into there real quick. I'll just grab, how do you do this stuff again? I'll just grab half a stack of those, we'll put them into here, boom, And now these should all be traveling from one side all the way to the other. I'll quickly just grab them out to show you. Yes, there you go. It changes over. Very useful for your quick pulses, ba-dumph, and also can be used for your long pulses as well. This is probably the most useless clock that is in this list, but 1.16 dictates we can do it now, so I have this clock. Now, that's not going to work. Wait up, let me try that again. So if you just give it a quick pulse, it will shoot out an arrow out of the dispenser into the target block, which will send a signal around and around and around and around. And if you want to turn it off, you can just hold the signal on until it goes through, and now it's turned off. And then repeat. And it's pretty useless by 1.16, so it's cool. I might as well show you how to build this one as well. You're going to need an arrow, target block. You need a target block. That target block is going to have an output. I'm going to put the output on this side. So when it gets hit, it will send a signal out, and it's going to send its signal out in this direction here. I'm going to give it a few delays so that it has time to reach. We need something to shoot it with. We're going to use this dispenser, and again giving it a few more delays there, and just need to fill up with some arrows, give it some sort of input, boom, there we go. We now have a clock. Useless but fun. The last clock on the list is the 20 Hz clock. This is the fastest clock in the game, and I love it. It is awesome. Like a machine gun. So what it does is, it just relies on the very quick one tick of delay in that repeater that's going to power that block, and then it's going to go around in the circle because it's no longer going to be powered from that. And the one tick delay will go through, completing this circuit, hitting this block, which will power that, and then it'll turn off for a tick, actually less than a tick, in which case it'll then get powered again. So the clock is so fast that you can't even see the redstone turning on and off. But it actually is. If you remove that redstone, this farm does not work. Farm. I gotta stop saying farm. This clock does not work. That's how fast that redstone turns on and off. So in order to build this one, you're going to need about 4 repeaters. You're going to need a lever, some redstone dust, a redstone torch, a sticky piston, and some building blocks. Start off with, I will just place my lever system all like this. So now when I turn on the lever, it will power the sticky piston, which will close the redstone circuit, and also turn off the light, which will provide us with that one tick of a signal. So in order to get that, we're going to have to put a red repeaters like this, and then we're going to have to get the output from these repeaters over here, which will go into these 2 blocks, powering that piece of redstone. As you can see now, there it goes. Absolutely ridiculously fast. Let's quickly grab a note block, and there we go. Bullet speed. The fastest clock in the game. Love it. I forgot. There is a variation you can use with these comparator clocks. You can actually make them go quite a fair bit slower if we use some delay from some repeaters, which I can show you very quickly right here. So if I get my output like this, as we know, subtract mode, very, very quick clock. But if I get my output to go around and come back like this, we can actually make this clock go quite slow. And we can variate this a lot, and can be used for, well, again, many things. But the more repeaters you add, the slower the clock will go. Yeah, awesome, right? So that's all I've got for everybody today. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. If you did enjoy that video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see some more from me, hit that subscribe button, and I'll be sure to getting some more content your way. Ciao for now.